Hey there, Supallama here. This video is for the LPU setup Sunday. It's been a while since I made a video, but I figure I might as well show up my setup. Walk you guys through it. So it's mostly a machine shop, but I also do other things in here as well. So we'll start with one of my main tables. I use this for mostly building locks and putting things together, but I also repair GM clusters. So I use my power station and I use the plugs so I can bench test and everything like that. Make sure everything all works as intended. I also have my vise, so if I do end up picking something, I use this table to pick at as well, but haven't had a lot of time to pick, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Do excuse the mess. This is probably the messiest spot, aside from probably my toolbox and my collection area. Shop vac, so I can keep things clean. This entire shelf is pretty well all locks. Picked stuff or things I really don't know what to do with. Just kind of random assortment of things. Scrap box, I use that for keeping spare parts I can use to test on, so that way my cutaways do look better. Random pin kits, which is just, you know, assortments of American master lock pins, and a couple other little things. Safe lock, eventually I'll get into spinning. Another shelf up. Let's see if I can get this in a better spot. Tripods. That's a little bit better for light. Lock collection and cutaways that I use for copying. So, big assortment of stuff. Up top, a little bit more collection. Some of it is eventually intended to be picked later, but that's far and few between, as I'm usually a little bit too bogged down to do my own stuff. We'll start with the mill. Let's see here. Yeah, that should be good enough. I can move things around. So the mill itself, X2 mini mill, LED lamp. It's got your standard centering, self-centering vise, rotary table. My toolbox consists of tooling for both the mill and for the lathe. Materials, so aluminum, brass, Delrin, whatever. I've got tools. Let's see if I can actually get up nice and close for you guys here. You can get a good idea. So there's all my random assorted materials: steel, aluminum, Delrin, whatever. Box of aluminum. So if I find I need something of a certain size, I should have something, considering the work that I work, you know, the things I work on. Random tools, shrink wrap, assorted screwdrivers, hammer, wire strippers, microfiber cloth to keep things clean. More random pins, drill bits, really small drill bits, like number, what we got here, number 60 for example. Highlighter, that's probably for pins. Wafers, lead Loctite, finishing nails, different tools of and materials that I use for lock building. The lathe is on its own separate table. Standard mini lathe. It does the work that I need. Can't really say a whole lot. It's as rigid as I'd like. I'd like a little bit more power. Eventually I will change out the motor into this, because right now it's only a 1/3 horsepower. I've got a 5 horsepower motor that I can toss in. It just requires a little bit more power, about 75 amps. So I think it's 24 volts, 75 amps, something like that. Another little wood toolbox, keeps other random things, files. This entire table is my to-do bench. Every single lock on here is to be done eventually. This entire flat rate box, this was all from Correct Jeans, who commissioned all of these to be done. I told him we'll see what we can do. A lot of these locks are very possible. The other ones I'm just afraid to gut right now, but we'll get there when we get there. Other locks, standard Australian ovals, a best IC, Mako IC. There's an American 1100 that just came into the mail. Another Kryptonite, bunch of Americans, some Avis, Acid Twins, whole bunch of them. There's some pros. Not a whole lot. Down below, I've got pin kits. Medico, Primus mostly. There is some assorted other pins that are in there that I've kept over the time. There's a small box for ASA as well. Keep a little box over here of boxes for other locks. So if I get a lock in that's for a cutaway order, and I decide that that should come with a box, then if I have one, I'll throw one in. Currently, right now, I've got a Corbin M Heart in the mill. That'll become a nice cutaway. There's the pins there for it. So this all should be very, very good. If anyone has any questions, please leave it in the comments and I'll get notified and I'll answer some of the questions. But for the most part, the reason I'm not really doing much videos or picking is mostly because of all this table here. Every single bit on that has to be done. And it's been like that, with that kind of load for past 12 months. I've also moved to a new house as of March, I think it was. But during the move, I lost all my recording equipment, so it wasn't really on my priorities to buy new equipment in order to start recording, just so I could finish as many cutaways as I possibly could. Yeah, that's really about it. Thanks for watching.